Hi, welcome to Baking with Jay+Dan. I'm Jay.
I'm Dan.
And today we're going to make one of our signature bakes that we like to call chocolotti. What is chocolotti, you might ask?
Well, if a brownie and a biscotti walked into a bar and a romance ensued, you might end up with chocolotti.
All right, so we're going to start our recipe with 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Make sure it's at room temperature.
And we have 1 cup of granulated sugar. Those two go in together.
And you want to mix that for about 3 to 5 minutes on a medium speed. All right, so our butter and sugar are nicely incorporated. Give it a quick scrape. To that, we're going to add 2 large eggs. Make sure they're at room temperature. And we're going to let that mix again for another 2 to 3 minutes, just until the egg is incorporated into the sugar and the butter. All right, so our butter, sugar, and eggs are nicely creamed together. I'm going to give it a quick scrape.
And it's time to figure out our dry ingredients, which are 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. You have a teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm whisking that together, making sure you don't have any large chunks of white flour. And we'll stream that in gradually.
Make sure your mixer is set on low so that when you start to incorporate the flour, it doesn't go everywhere. All right, so our mixture is nicely incorporated. I'm going to give it a quick scrape.
Oh, it's perfect. It still has it's a little sticky texture, but beautiful. Now we're ready to add a bit of texture. We have our 1 cup of shelled pistachios,
along with 1 1/3 cup of semi-sweet chocolate.
So the chocolate chips and the pistachios go in all together. He's going to mix that just until it incorporates, not overmixed.
All right, so our pistachios and chips are incorporated into the base of our biscotti chocolotti.
And it's time to form the log. Just scrape the paddle and set it aside. Make sure all the nuts and the chocolate chips end up in the batter. And here's what it looks like. Luscious and a nice thick batter. Now, if you see any bits of pistachio and chips in the bottom of the bowl, just bring them in by hand. Yeah, this looks great. And we'll start to distribute it on 2 sheets of plastic wrap. I'm going for a log shape. So as you set it down, work lengthwise, going to about 1 foot or 12-inch log. And that looks pretty good. Okay, now turn the plastic onto itself. Take out any air pockets. And then begin to compress the dough into that log shape. Use the counter and just press down. So ultimately the log will be, as I said, 12 inches long and about 4 inches wide here. I think this looks good. You want to make sure it's even at the borders. On your edges, compress in a little bit so it's a nice elongated rectangle. And there's the biscotti log. So this goes into the freezer for 30 minutes, or you could chill it in the refrigerator overnight to bake it the next day.
Once the batter is chilled, bake it off at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Let it cool completely on the cookie sheet. You should hear a nice hollow sound and see some cracks in the biscotti.
So it's time to cut. Use a serrated knife. We'll bring it onto the cutting board. Take off this end piece. Just that's the chef's treat for later. I'm working on a slight diagonal and doing nice long cuts through. So you end up with a dramatic long piece of biscotti. Okay, it's ready to transfer to the cookie sheet. We're going to place that into a 300-degree oven and let it cook again just for 5 minutes.
And there you have it. Our biscotti is ready for its second bake. After our biscotti's second bake, let them cool completely on the cookie sheet and it's ready to enjoy.
Going in, look at the distribution of the pistachios. It has that texture of the biscotti on the outside and then just breaks like a soft brownie inside.
These only get better with time. You can seal them in an airtight container. And I like to enjoy them with a nice cup of coffee.
It's delicious. This has been Baking with Jay+Dan. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.
And remember to ring that bell.